This is going to be a video review of the 3M Steri-Strip. Now I'm going to put a photo on here right now from 2 weeks ago when I fell on the ground and put my foot in a hole in the sidewalk and slammed it against a metal grate. And yes, I complained to the city that they were liable and negligent, and within a week they fixed it, so good for them. That is what it looks like after 2 weeks. You can see this is probably not going to, I know it's disgusting, it's probably not going to leave a scar, or a very minimal scar. It's a little irritated over there right now. Why did this heal so well? And I'm showing you, I'm going to go over and show you the video right now, the little photo of when it happened, what it looked like, and you're going to see the photo of the butterflies that I put on. Now, the butterflies that I used were not Steri-Strips because I didn't have Steri-Strips at the time. The cut, so the cut, let's just imagine that this is the leg, and I put the metal into the leg, and the cut opens up, so I got this nice wide gash. And I was wearing jeans at the time, and I was out doing stuff. I lifted up the pants leg, and I went, okay, so it's a little bloody, but it clotted up, and everything was good. But then I got home, and it's clotted up, but I wanted to make sure it was clean, so I went in there and washed it and put some peroxide on there, and it just started pouring. I got it all cleaned up, which is what you need to do, and I looked at it a little bit later, and it was kind of bubbling blood and bubbling blood and bubbling blood. Every time I looked at it, it was bubbling. And I thought, why is it bubbling blood? Why isn't my wide gash closing up to nothing? Because it was clotted over here, but it was really deep further down. It was deep further down. And I needed to get that closed. I could literally see the blood bubbling, kind of leaking out at part of the cut. So you have a choice. You hope that it clots, or you put gauze on there. I didn't have any gauze. And you need it to clot. So I didn't have any gauze, which would be the thing to use, but I had some butterfly strips from another company, which is what Steri-Strips are. And you're seeing the white things, the picture of the white things. And so the idea behind this, when you go to the hospital, they're going to clean out a wound. They're either going to stitch it up if it's really deep, so you got this big opening and they close it like this, or you got the big opening and they put in some type of I think it's made by Crazy Glue. It's the medical people from Crazy Glue, but they put in some type of a Crazy Glue type compound that goes in there and glues the whole thing up and also seals it, kind of like gauze on a bandage would do, but it stops the bleeding and it holds it together until it can clot inside and close up. Or they use a Steri-Strip, which is a butterfly. And a butterfly, I don't want to take this out, this is sealed up, and you're saying, well, what kind of a video is it if you can't see it? You saw the butterfly. This has got 10 strips in an envelope, and these are the strips. These are the actual strips. This is the back adhesive, and yeah, I'm not going to open it up for you. So what you end up doing is you've got a thin little section like you see that's going to go over the cut, and then you've got the strip that goes over both sides. And the idea is that you put the tape on, you pull these two things together a little bit, you squeeze your gash together, like that. So you're squeezing this gash together, and it pulls these two pieces of the cut together so that, there we go. Yeah, so that it can clot on the inside. And that's what ended up happening. After about 4 hours, that thing was still bleeding, and I put the butterfly thing on there, put the butterfly thing on right over, and when I did that, I swear to God, within like 10 seconds, everything was done. It wasn't bleeding anymore. I left the butterfly on for 2 days. And the idea behind the thin piece over this area is that when you've got the thin piece, it's going to kind of get into the cut a little bit, but if you let it clot enough, after a couple days it's going to be dried up, and then you can clean the wound and go back in there and do what you need to do. And the big strips, the strip on the outside, is literally squeezing, let's see, it's squeezing this together so that it can clot. So these Steri-Strips are totally awesome. And you don't want to, unless you're a doctor or a nurse and you've got that medical crazy glue stuff, you don't want to mess with any of that. You don't want to mess with stitches. If you can avoid going to ER, because this little cut, this was a nothing cut. They would do absolutely nothing but clean it up, charge you $500 to stitch it up. So go buy these Steri-Strips. I have used these things about 3 or 4 times over the last 10 years, and every time that I've used them, they saved me from having to go to the emergency room to get stitches. I even had a cut. I had a cut right on, I was using a knife, and I cut myself. You go over there, and you do a slice, and it was pouring and pouring, and it wouldn't stop bleeding. And I put a bunch of gauze on there, put a bandage on there. I went into the store. I bought, you pick these things up. Went outside in the parking lot. I had my bottle of hydrogen peroxide with me, cleaned it up in the parking lot, put the butterfly strip on, and I swear, it stopped. It just stopped immediately. And I went, this is nuts. This thing's been bleeding for over an hour. And luckily my local market carried these things. But buy these things, have them in the house. I don't know how long the adhesive lasts for. I don't know if there's an expiration date on here. Is there an expiration date? What does it say? Expiration date, good for 9/23/21. So these are a year old. I bought them just now, and they're a year old, and they will last for about another 4 years or so. You can't beat this thing. This is going to save you one day, especially if you cut yourself a lot or if you have kids. You want to have this thing. Click on the affiliate link in the video description. Buy this stuff. Even if you don't click on the link, go buy this stuff. Keep it in your house for your safety and your protection. They work. They work really good. Thumbs up, subscribe, like, share, donation link in the video description. Thanks for watching. 3M Steri-Strip. These are awesome. And they come in totally, well, I wouldn't call them totally. They come in different sizes. Totally cool. I'm from LA, you know? So they come in different sizes. These are the little strips. They come in thicker strips, thicker pads, and they work.